Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin. Tonight I'm going to be sharing with you an Algerian 10 dinar. It measures 151 by 80 millimeters, and it is dated November 1st, 1970. Let's pause and let me ask you to subscribe to my page if you have not done so. Click on the button in the bottom right-hand corner and enjoy this and the 90 other videos I've made so far. Back to the note. This is a paper note, and it is predominantly red and brown. The Standard Catalog of World Paper Money calls this note a PIC 127, while the Banknote book calls this note a B306. This note was withdrawn on December 31st, 1998, but it is relatively available. I used Wikipedia to get some more information on the subject matters and other things about this banknote. So let's get started. The predominant text, well, the only text on this note on the face is in Arabic. You can see it here and even here. And as far as the design is concerned, over here on the far left, we have a ram in a thicket of grapes. This actually reminds me indirectly of God's promises to Abraham on Mount Moriah when he was tested by God. He was expected to sacrifice his son Isaac, and he was pleased that God provided him with a ram instead. You can see behind the ram and the grapes a splendid waterfall. And again, as I had mentioned, those are grape leaves and grapes. And then there is a mosque here in the middle. And over here on the far right, there is a fantastic peacock. And I can't tell you if this is a blue or Indian peacock or a green or Southeast Asian peacock or a Congo Basin peacock, but I would guess this is an African note, and that Algeria is far north of the Congo Basin, and since there was a lot of trade, from east-west and back and forth, that this could very well be equally the blue or the green. I honestly don't know. If anybody can help me, let me know. Now, on the far right, there is a repeated watermark of the face of Abdullah Khadir. And the reason I think we have a repeated watermark is because the technology of the company who created the note probably created the note or created the paper used for this series in a one long continuous roll, and rather than have to deal with the hassle of centering a watermark, they just had a repeat watermark on the end so that it gave them a little bit more flexibility in not just the printing of the note, but the cutting of the note as well. Now, let's talk about the aesthetics of this note. This is in my mind, it's beautiful, but it does seem to be hand-drawn in many ways, and that is an aesthetic that is appreciated by a lot of people. This note has that aesthetic, and it's common to most notes printed by what came to be, I guess, the Central Bank of Algeria and other notes in Africa that this firm printed currency for seems to have the same drawing example. For example, Guinea-Bissau's first couple of notes exhibit the same aesthetic and the same French style of having numbers here that seem to meet somehow with these numbers here, and then this serial number here as well. So I don't know any more than that, but most of these have been attributed to the Bank of Algeria. This is now the largest country in Africa since the breakup of the Sudan. So if you haven't thought about signing up for Numismatic Notes with Benjamin, please do so at this time. I'm getting ready to start with the back of the note, which is a little bit more readable since I am Western and I read the Latin alphabet. Let's get started on this side. You can see on this side French texts, Banque Centrale d'Algérie, and you can see again grape orchards. I thought those were awful big leaves, but grapes do have some big leaves, and here we see them kind of overhead. And it makes me think of Jonah and the vine that he sat under until God sent the worm to shrivel up the vine. Let's see. In addition to the grapes, we have an oil refinery right here. And you may notice that down here there is a penal code. Now, there are several kinds of penal codes here. One of them has serifs on the letters and one of them does not. Mine is the re-engraved one that is considered to be sans serif or no serifs. Now, let's address this Abdullah Khadir, who is on the watermark that you can now see on the left-hand side of the page. He was born in 1808, and he lived until 1883. He was a military and religious leader who fought against French colonialism. He was a scholar, and he was a Sufi. He was held in high regard for his human rights record and was honored around the world for one time saving the Christian community of Damascus in the 1860s. He was seen somewhat as a modern Jugurtha within Algeria. He was also a Sharif, and as a descendant of Muhammad, he was entitled to the use of the title al-Hassani. He was also Hafiz and could recite the Quran from memory by the age of 14. I found in my research that, interestingly enough, he had a town in Iowa named after him. al-Qadir, Iowa, was named after this man. And I don't think that that is the man who is depicted on the banknote. He is just the man that you see in the watermark. Here we have a gentleman who is actually weaving, and so this note fits in a number of themes. Crops, petroleum, weaving, and peacocks. This is a fantastic note for you to have, and I would expect that anybody who actually seriously wants one of these or wants this note for several themes in their collection would be able to find it. I found mine for under $30. I am Benjamin. This has been Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Please subscribe, please comment, please like and share. Have a jewel of a day.